Alec Bohm, it does not need to be said on this show. Not a fan. I think he's a poor baseball player. He's been very good for them here recently, and if you kind of stretch the numbers out over an extended period throughout the month of August, he's been really good for them. And obviously, a lot of that has to do with the game that he had Saturday night. He goes 5 for 5. He has the 3 doubles. He gets the hit late on Sunday, the bloop into right field. It wasn't good contact, but you know what? You take it. Last night, he gets the insurance run. He has hit now in, I believe, 6 consecutive games and 7 of his last 8. He has a hit in every game this month except for 3. And if you take a look at his numbers in the month of August in 16 games, he's 21 for 57 with a 368 batting average, 422 on base percentage, slugging 509, 931 OPS. He's been good for them, especially over the past 2 weeks. And if you I think you tweeted out something like over his last 27 games, and yes, you can extend that a little further out though, and those numbers start to decline pretty quickly. But like, I am not going to use today's episode to be like, do I believe in Alec Bohm? No. Do I think that all of a sudden he's figured it out? Not really. But kudos to him, because everyone in this entire city, myself included, was absolutely destroying this guy. And he has responded and helped this team win games in a crucial stretch. And I have to acknowledge that. I'd be just picking a fight, or, I'd have an axe to grind, or whatever you want to say, if I didn't acknowledge that.
Yeah. And the stats that I had that I put out the other day, which I'll update right now through last night, I looked at it from, coming out of the All-Star break, first game out of the All-Star break, they lose to the Mets. His average dips to 230. He goes 0 for 4 that game, and his average dips to 213. And his OPS is down to 625. All right. Now, these are not season lows, but, earlier in the season's early, right? So you don't want to go back that to the lowest point, because obviously if you do that, everything's going to go up. But that was a point where it was like, okay, that's when people started to say, besides you and me on the show, they've had enough of Alec Bohm. And yet, through all this, Bob, since that point, 28 games, 337 batting average, 386 on base, 876 OPS. Still not really driving the ball. He's only got 10 extra base hits in that time, a lot of singles, but he's been productive. Mm-hmm. Not great defensively. We know that he's made some errors, right? Made some mistakes in the field, but it's hard to look past the fact that the guy is finding a way on base. Also, not striking out, only 12 strikeouts in those 28 games. Has grounded in the 5 double plays in that time, though. That's still a threat, as of course, anytime he comes to the plate. But you gotta give credit, I guess, where it's due. And Alec Bohm has been part of this offensive resurgence.
Absolutely. And look, I mean, if you said to me, what does he do for the remainder of the season, and you were to set out numbers, and you said, will he hit over 280 for the remainder? And that's a high bar. So I'll go a little lower. I'll say, does he hit over 270? Does he hit 3 or more home runs? Does he have 800 or better, 770 or better OPS? I would bet the under on all of these things. I just would.
Yeah. We got some comments on this, Bob, because
but maybe not. I mean, here's the thing. Like, we've seen it. We saw it earlier this season. He was floating around at 205, and he picked his numbers up into the 230s. He put together a 2.5, 3 week stretch where he hit 320 and drove the ball a little bit and kind of like got his season back above water, and then he fell off again. Like, I guess what I need to see, and to some degree, you're talking about since the All-Star break, that's not a small amount of time, but I guess I just need to see more. But certainly it's been a shot in the arm. I'm trying my best here, man. Like, I don't want to be that guy. You know how, like, you listen to sports talk radio, or you listen to the people over the years, and they have an impression on a guy, and no matter what he does, like the Eagles quarterback, he wins a Super Bowl. Well, you can't convince that person that he's any good. Like, I don't want to be that guy. I really don't. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, look, you're not that guy, because if you go by some of the comments that we have here, you're going to find similar sentiment. First of all, Kyle Seiler says he's here for the Alec Bohm apology tour season 1. But if you look around, you got Ethan Pechersky says, no, you don't need to be nice to Alec Bohm. Glad to see him catch a little heater, but he's still not a good player. Robert Mallard chimes in and says, the Alec Bohm defense force is being real loud on Phillies Twitter. Makes me feel like I'm insane. And then Joe Carmazin says, no need to apologize for Alec Bohm. Even bad players have good stretches from time to time. We get, we understand what this is like. Like this, we've seen this before. And I think everybody's going to sit there and say, yeah, but because we know what it gets like when it gets bad with him. And that's, we're just conditioned that way, right? That we're not going to sit there and say, well, maybe this time.
But even if he cools off, and he's going to, like, if there's some like floor of consistency where you're like, okay, like he does hit 270 the rest of the way. He does OPS somewhere in the mid 700s. Like I can live with that.
Yeah.
It's not like Alec Bohm. I would say Kyle because of the comment there saying I'm here for the apology tour. It's not like Alec Bohm has to be this guy the remainder of the year for me to be like, see, I just need him to not kill them. And there's been just stretches throughout the course of the season where he murders them. And if he doesn't do that, then I'm good. Then I'll say, hey, kudos to Alec Bohm for putting together 2.5 good months at the right time when I certainly did not believe that he would do it.